The trailer begins by pulling us back into the unstable world where power is never secure, and loyalty has a price. We see familiar faces, but something about them feels different. Their expressions are harder, their movements more careful, as if they already know that someone is about to fall. The atmosphere feels heavier than before, almost suffocating, as if the land itself is holding its breath. Every shot feels intentional, designed to remind us that no one is safe anymore. The calm that once existed between deals and negotiations is gone, replaced by tension that sits just beneath the surface. As the trailer moves forward, the focus shifts toward a growing conflict that can no longer be ignored. The power structure that once seemed solid now shows deep cracks. Characters who once trusted each other now speak with hesitation, choosing their words carefully, knowing one wrong sentence could end everything. The camera lingers on faces filled with doubt and fear, making it clear that the stakes have reached a breaking point. This episode doesn't build slowly, it pushes forward with urgency, letting the audience feel the pressure building from every direction. What makes this moment truly shocking is how quiet the danger feels. There are no loud confrontations yet, no explosive scenes, just a growing sense that something terrible is coming. The trailer uses silence, long stares, and tense pauses to create discomfort. It's the kind of tension that tells you a major shift is about to happen, one that cannot be undone. Someone is hiding the truth. Someone else is about to uncover it. And when that happens, the balance of power will completely collapse. As the final moments of the trailer play out, the message becomes clear. Season 2 is no longer about survival alone. It is about control, betrayal, and the cost of holding on to power for too long. The episode promises a turning point where choices will define who riseth and who falls. By the time the screen fades to black, one thing is certain: Episode 8 will change everything. And nothing in the world of Landman will ever feel safe again. The second part of the story begins by pulling us deeper into the tension that the trailer quietly builds. At this stage, the danger is no longer hidden, it's breathing in every scene. Characters move with caution, not because they are afraid of enemies they can see, but because they no longer trust the people standing right beside them. The atmosphere feels heavier, as if every conversation could be the last honest one. This is where the show stops teasing and starts revealing how broken the balance of power has become. The episode focuses strongly on shifting control. Characters who once felt untouchable now appear unsure, second-guessing every move they make. Small decisions carry massive consequences, and even simple conversations feel loaded with meaning. There is a clear sense that someone is losing their grip, and the fear of that loss is pushing them toward dangerous choices. The writing slows down intentionally, allowing every glance, every pause, and every unfinished sentence to speak louder than words. It's no longer about strength, it's about who can survive the pressure. As the story continues, we see relationships begin to crack under the weight of hidden truths. Trust, once used as a weapon, now becomes a weakness. The trailer hints that secrets buried for a long time are about to surface, and when they do, they will hurt everyone involved. Old loyalties start to feel meaningless, and alliances begin to shift in quiet but powerful ways. The tension doesn't come from action, but from anticipation, the sense that one wrong move will ignite everything. What makes this section so powerful is how it shows control slipping away without a single dramatic explosion. The characters are trapped by their own past decisions, and the pressure of those choices is finally catching up to them. There is fear in their eyes, but also determination. Some are preparing to fight back, while others are clearly preparing to run. The trailer gives just enough to show that no one is truly the final stretch of the episode pushes everything toward a breaking point where silence becomes more dangerous than action. At this stage, the tension that has been building since the beginning finally reaches its peak. Every character seems aware that the choices made now will define not only their future, but the fate of everyone around them. The atmosphere is heavy, filled with unspoken truths and unasked questions. Nothing feels stable anymore, and the sense of control that once guided these characters has completely slipped away. Safe anymore. As this part of the episode closes, the tone becomes darker and more serious. The lines between right and wrong blur completely. Every character seems to be standing at the edge of something irreversible. The world of Landman feels tighter, more dangerous, and far less forgiving. This section makes it clear that episode 8 is not about building toward chaos, it's about stepping directly into it. With no way back once the next move is made, the story deepens as the pressure begins to fracture relationships that once seemed unbreakable. In this part of the episode, emotions no longer stay hidden behind calm faces or careful words. Every conversation feels heavier, as if each character is carrying a secret that could destroy everything if revealed. The tension no longer sits quietly in the background, it fills every room, every silence, every glance between people who no longer trust each other. The world of Landman feels smaller here, almost suffocating, as if there is no safe place left to stand. Power shifts begin to happen in subtle but dangerous ways. A character who once followed orders now starts questioning them. Another, once confident and in control, shows cracks that cannot be ignored. The balance that held everything together starts to lean, and everyone feels it. These moments are not loud or dramatic, but they hit harder because of how real they feel. It becomes clear that the greatest threat is no longer an outside enemy, but the choices being made from fear, pride, and desperation. This section also reveals how deeply the past continues to control the present. Old deals, broken promises, and hidden betrayals return to haunt those who thought they had escaped them. Conversations are filled with half-truths and careful wording, as characters try to protect themselves while still keeping their power. There is a constant feeling that someone is being watched, judged, or tested. Even the strongest figures seem unsure of their next move, realizing that every decision now comes with a cost they may not be ready to pay. As the episode moves forward, the emotional weight becomes impossible to ignore. Relationships that once provided stability begin to crack under pressure. Trust is no longer given freely. It must be earned again, if it can be earned at all. The tension between loyalty and survival becomes the central conflict, pushing characters toward choices they never believed they would make. This internal struggle is just as intense as any physical confrontation, making the drama feel personal and raw. By the end of this section, the atmosphere has fully shifted. There is no sense of safety left, only uncertainty and rising fear. The world of Landman now feels like a battlefield. where every word can be used as a weapon and every decision has lasting consequences. The calm before the storm is gone, replaced by the quiet understanding that something irreversible is coming and no one will walk away unchanged. When it finally arrives, the story moves into a darker space where consequences finally begin to surface. At this point, the weight of every earlier decision becomes impossible to escape. Characters who once believed they were in control now find themselves reacting instead of leading. Power no longer feels like something that can be held. It feels unstable, slipping through their fingers no matter how tightly they try to hold on. Every scene carries a sense of urgency, as if time itself is running out for everyone involved. This part of the episode focuses heavily on confrontation, not always loud or violent, but deeply emotional. Words are chosen carefully, and silence becomes just as dangerous as speaking. Characters look at each other with a mix of regret, anger, and disbelief, realizing that the people they trusted most may be the very ones who put them in danger. The tension doesn't come from sudden action but from the slow realization that betrayal has already happened. And there may be no way to undo it. As the story moves forward, we see how fear begins to shape decisions. Some characters try to regain control by tightening their grip, making harsher choices, and pushing others away. Others begin to crack under pressure, showing signs of guilt and hesitation that make them vulnerable. The balance of power continues to shift, and the lines between right and wrong blur even further. No one is fully innocent anymore, and that realization weighs heavily on everyone involved. The emotional stakes rise as relationships that once seemed unbreakable begin to fracture. Trust erodes with every conversation, and even long-standing alliances start to feel fragile. The sense of unity that once held people together is replaced by suspicion and quiet resentment. Each character is forced to face the reality that survival may come at the cost of loyalty, and loyalty may come at the cost of survival. By the end of this section, the atmosphere becomes thick with uncertainty. The future feels unstable, as if one final decision could trigger everything to collapse. The episode makes it clear that there is no turning back now. The characters are standing on the edge of irreversible change, and whatever happens next will reshape their world in ways they can no longer control.